All right. Well, as you all are joining in, welcome. So glad for all of you could join us. Hopefully, a few more people are going to click the link and join in here, but we already have a pretty good large group in here. So really excited to see everybody tonight joining us for understanding your financial aid. We did one of these sessions earlier in the year. We do these in the fall as well, but we are at that unique time and point in time where, especially, for all of our seniors, we're at the turning point of really having to finalize decisions, but also really finalize financial aid. And so we want to make sure that you have all the necessary things that you need to be successful in funding your future. And so we're going to spend a couple slides on just the general timeline of what action should we be taking now. Hopefully some things that we've already have completed, some things that we need to complete in the next couple months, as well as then 3 or 4 months over the summer as well before move-in. So I kind of have that broken down for you. A couple of housekeeping things. While I do plan on probably answering a ton of your questions while I go through not only the timeline, but also I will be going over a financial aid overview as well. Hopefully I'll answer a lot of your questions just from having done this quite a bit, but there should be a ask question button on your screen, usually on the bottom of your screen, where you can submit questions to the Q&A. Please feel free to submit as many questions as you would like to the Q&A section. I will go through those and answer as many questions as possible throughout the webinar. And then I do have Lacey in the background as well. She'll be helping me answer some questions. And then also, if I might be dropping some few helpful links and stuff like that for you to take note of throughout the session as well. So hopefully you can kind of see those housekeeping things, and we'll jump straight into it. All right, let's do it. So here's the start of our timeline process, right? So the way that the financial aid process works here at Maryville, it really starts after application, right? You have to apply to Maryville and you have to send us high school transcripts. If you're really early in the process, it's still not too late to apply to Maryville and send us high school transcripts. As soon as we get your high school transcripts and your application on file, that's one of the first financial aid items that we review you for, which is your automatic scholarship. Automatic scholarships are sent to you via the acceptance or the attachment in your acceptance email. So we email you your acceptance letter, and in that attachment includes your automatic scholarship. That is your first form of financial aid from us. With that being said, we base that automatic scholarship off your GPA or your ACT at the time of your application. Some of you have completed another semester of high school, or you'll, by the time you graduate high school, maybe your cumulative GPA went up, and that might bring you into a new scholarship range. As a reminder, all automatic scholarships are locked in on right around June 1st, right? And so we need your final high school transcripts officially from your high school by that time. We kind of give that grace period of June 1st to June 15th to get all of your final official high school transcripts on file with us from your high school counselor. It has to come from your high school counselor directly to us, whether it's via mail or email, either one's fine. But if you do notice that your cumulative GPA is going to go up and it's going to upgrade your automatic scholarship, please let us know and we'll upgrade your automatic scholarship for you. The other one to talk about, and I'll talk about it at the end of the presentation today, is if you're taking dual credit or AP classes, you also need to send us those transcripts as well once you finish those classes. So review your automatic scholarship in that acceptance letter that's attached to that acceptance email. And then the following step after that is submitting your FAFSA. If you haven't submitted your FAFSA already, it is not too late. Average completion time is 29 minutes and it's 36 questions. It's gotten significantly easier to submit your FAFSA. I would encourage every eligible student to submit the FAFSA. A couple of reminders about the FAFSA, it is year by year, right? And so as we start reviewing your financial aid package, if you're getting financial aid from the FAFSA is first come, first serve, and it is not guaranteed year over year, right? So in order to best make sure that you keep that money moving forward, just make a note. Every October 1st is right around when the FAFSA will open. Every October 1st, you'll need to file the FAFSA. So October 1st of 2026, you'll need to file the FAFSA again and send it over to us. Once you've been accepted to the university and once you have submitted a FAFSA, that's when we start putting together your holistic financial aid package. And I'll talk about that on the next slide. But when you submit your FAFSA, there is one key index number that you're given on your submission page of your FAFSA, and that is called your SAI score or your Student Aid Index score. That's just a score that kind of gives you an idea. It's a scale from negative 1500 to 999,999. It's not important for you to know all the details. It's important for us to know those details. And we get that as long as you've added us to your FAFSA. I see this commonly. Students maybe apply to Maryville a little bit later after they submitted the FAFSA and they forgot to add us to the FAFSA. So if you've been accepted to Maryville and you've already done your FAFSA, if you haven't seen a financial aid package within 3 to 5 business days, double check at studentaid.gov that we are have permission on your FAFSA to receive it. So you go back to studentaid.gov and double check that. But your SAI is something that you should just pay attention to, write it down in your notes or something, just so you know what that is. So next steps, after you've done those things, really is to review that financial aid overview. At this point, the Maryville Financial Aid Office since February has been running financial aid packages on a daily basis. And what I mean by that is if you were accepted today and you submitted your FAFSA to us tomorrow, then on Thursday, you would have a financial aid package from us. Our team is phenomenal here at the university. They can turn around a financial aid package very quickly. And you're going to receive, the first document you're going to receive from us is that financial aid overview. It is sent to 2 locations. It is sent to the email your student or you, the student listed on your FAFSA, as well as your Maryville University email. Those are the 2 locations we send it. If you're having a hard time finding it or anything like that, just email your admissions counselor or admissions@maryville.edu, and we can resend it to whatever email you'd like. And that way you can get a copy of your financial aid overview. We are going to look at a financial aid overview at the end of the night tonight so you can see exactly what I'm talking about and break down those different components. The next thing is considering professional judgment. Professional judgment is a unique scenario with the FAFSA. The FAFSA is based off of student and contributor or contributors' combined taxes, or their separate tax returns both flow into the formula, and it's based off your 2024 taxes. So what I always say to students and families is, parents, contributors, whomever, look at your 2024 taxes and then look at your 2025 taxes. And if there was a decrease in income, that's the most common scenario. Or maybe somebody lost a job recently or just had a decrease in pay or anything like that. I strongly recommend you reach out to your admissions counselor to see if professional judgment is a great course of action for you. Which just means we would be able to recalculate your FAFSA to get you a more accurate SAI score based off your more recent tax return. It's not guaranteed for everybody. The admissions counselor will have to ask you a couple follow-up questions to see if you qualify. The government is strict about when we can and can't do professional judgment. But if you think your FAFSA isn't accurately reflected by your 2024 taxes, please explain that scenario to your admissions counselor and we can better assist you in that process. The next thing is really going to be activating your Maryville account. Activation.maryville.edu, you should receive that information about activating your account with your financial aid overview. But if you haven't, just go to activation.maryville.edu, and that's what's going to activate your Maryville account in general. That's what's going to give you access to self-service, and then your Maryville emails, a ton of other things, Canvas, a ton of other things as well as you're moving forward. So it's just a good idea to go ahead and start setting that up now so that you can start having that. And then, of course, keep applying to external scholarships. If you have not been pestering your high school counselor or your college and career counselor about local and community scholarships, you are missing out. I unfortunately talk to way too many high school counselors and way too many high schools around here that have so many scholarships from local community organizations or stuff like that, that students just don't take the time to apply to. And that is missed money. So strongly encourage that. If you're a Missouri resident, My Scholarship Central is your best friend. FastWeb is a great national database. ISL Education Lending, that is a lending company out of Iowa. They're offering a ton of Missouri-based, Illinois-based, Iowa-based scholarships right now that just came across my desk. And so since that was an email that I received today about those, I threw that in here as well. So they're out there. You just need to keep spending the time, just like it's homework, just like the big project or whatever. The project is getting college to be more affordable. And so make sure that you keep applying for those. As you start getting notified that you've won external scholarships, we want to celebrate that with you, right? We are excited for you. So please send us an email with the confirmation letter or whatever whenever you receive external scholarships. So let's take Lacey, for example. If Lacey wins a $5,000 Rotary scholarship, then she's going to email me and say, here's the letter from Rotary that says I won a $5,000 scholarship. And I'm going to celebrate that with her. And then I'm also going to add it to your financial aid package so that we know and make your financial aid package as accurate as possible. So as you start winning those, please send them over to us. And then ultimately, it's time to start accepting and declining your financial aid package. And you do that in self-service. We talked about self-service a little bit already. But selfservice.maryville.edu is where you go for that after you've activated your Maryville account. And you're going to see the financial aid tab, and it's going to talk about accepting or declining your financial aid. And it's basically going to look just like your financial aid overview, but you do need to take action on these things. As we talk about class registration and stuff like that, your bills are right around the corner. They'll come out in the summer. And so we want to make sure your bill is as accurate as possible. And so I need you to go in there before right around May 1st. Just like it's decision deadline time, it's also time to accept or decline that financial aid. You really do have the whole month of May. I do encourage you to kind of remember May 1st. What I always tell students is go with your gut, right? If right now, based off your current financial aid situation, you're going to accept those loans, great, accept them in the system. If things change, let us know. We can change a lot of those things all the way up until first day of classes, but we want you to go in there and take action on them now. That way that all of your billing statement and everything like that is accurate down the road. All right, looking forward, really, as we talk about April 1 to August 1, here's the things that we have to get done, right? We need to register for classes. The link to the general website of all the registration days is posted. I think Lacey is going to post that as well. But students, if you have paid your advanced tuition payment, you have an email sitting in your inbox encouraging you to sign up for a start day. That is our registration days. That is where you come to campus, you register for classes, you meet a life coach, et cetera, et cetera. I encourage you to sign up for a start date as soon as possible. We offer them April, May, June. But once again, if you want the most flexibility of classes, if you want to really be able to pick your classes and pick the times and everything like that, you need to attend one of those earlier start days, get it out of the way. We'll talk about financial aid, everything like that. So if you have paid your advanced tuition payment, go sign up for a start day now. If you haven't paid your advanced tuition payment and Maryville's in your top 3 choices, pay your advanced tuition payment and register for classes. Also, I forgot to list it here, but housing is filling up quickly. If you are on the fence at all about living on campus with us, fill out the housing application. Fill out that housing application, get that submitted over to us, and that way we can have you a spot on campus. Start considering private loans. This is at the bottom of your financial aid overview. I'll show you where it's at. We like ElmSelect. It's a great non-biased website to look at that. It's on your financial aid package. I'll show you where that's at. And then, of course, I said this already with the external scholarships, but you need to keep us updated. Keep us updated on all things. If you take a private loan and you get approved, let us know. If you plan on using 529 accounts, stuff like that to pay your bill, let us know. If you're receiving external scholarships, let us know, because we are going to take a ton of notes for the financial aid office and keep updating your account. That way, when bills go out, they are accurate. If you're using military benefits or Bright Horizon benefits or anything like that, please, please, please reach out to us now so we can start taking care of that stuff now. And then registration confirmations. This is what will be going out in June. The university sends you one paper document, one paper bill, and it is called the registration confirmation, and it goes out in June. After that, everything is electronic. So your bills will be emailed to you. But that is really, we want that registration confirmation to be accurate. And so we want you to take care of all of that business now, so that when that goes out after you register for classes, that you'll have an accurate looking registration confirmation. All right, last 4 things before we jump into the financial aid overview. Work study, we will talk about a little bit on the financial aid overview. Here is my opinion on work study. Everybody should consider work study. Work study is a phenomenal opportunity for students for so many reasons. By you requesting for financial aid to be put on your financial aid, or sorry, for work study to be put on your financial aid package does not mean we are going to force you to work, right? By accepting work study on your financial aid package and self-service, it just means that you're going to start getting emails about what jobs we have available, about what work study is, what the program looks like, right? You still have to apply for a job, you still have to land a job, and then you still have to work in order to get that money. And so my encouragement to you is accept work study. Start looking at jobs. If there's nothing that interests you, that's perfectly fine. You can let us know. We can remove it from your financial aid package. It doesn't hurt you either way. But you should always check to see if you're eligible for work study, and you should strongly consider working on campus with us. You could always be a tour guide in our office or work the visitor center. There's also hundreds of other jobs as well, though. Payment plans will open in June. I'm not going to go into extreme detail because we talk about this at Start a lot, but just know that you have to sign up for a payment plan by July 1. July 1. Financial aid appointments are still available. All of us admissions counselors offer one-on-one financial aid appointments to our students and families and guests if you'd like to sign up for a one-on-one financial aid appointment. And then, like I said earlier, don't forget about those college transcripts as well. All right, let me switch over screens here really quickly, and then we can go through the financial aid overview.
Blake, there are a few questions if you want to answer those
Yep.
before you jump in.
Yep. I got it. Perfect. Let's look at some of these questions here. Will your financial aid package change once you have picked out your classes? Most likely no, right? Financial aid packages, we base them on 12 to 18 credit hours per semester. So as long as you're a full-time student, your financial aid package should not change for any reason. How do I access my Maryville email? Once you activate your account at activation.maryville.edu, the easiest thing I recommend is community. Lacey, I don't know if you have the link for community, but Lacey should be looking that up. But community is where the easier option too is it's an Outlook email address. So if you just look up Outlook, you can always log in there. Or the other option I always like is launch.maryville.edu, and that would take you to all the apps that you have access to. That's the one that I use every day. So Outlook or launch.maryville.edu. How do I find out if I got a competitive Maryville scholarship? Decisions on competitive scholarships were emailed to students. And so if you're not confident about if you received an email or not, can you please email your admissions counselor and we will get that back to you. Can I still get scholarship money even if okay, perfect. I think that was answered already. Great. All right, here's an example financial aid package, and then hopefully I can keep answering questions and we'll get you all on your way. But this is kind of set up just like your self-service page. In general, we break it down. The questions that I've been getting from a lot of families right now is like we'll start at the top here for direct cost. We base direct cost and whether or not we included on-campus housing meals, we base that on if your student put on their Maryville application that they might want to live on campus. This is not a bill. I want to say this 100 times. We are not billing you this. We are only billing you for housing if you submit the housing application, right? And so families ask us all the time, okay, we've changed our mind. Our students going to live off campus or live at home, et cetera, et cetera. Can you rerun our financial aid package? We can and we will. Whenever we send out bills and stuff, it will be accurate. It will not include housing, right? Because you didn't fill out the housing application. Just know that your financial aid package also isn't going to change if you don't live on campus. So all you have to do is just subtract this number from your cost. All of this stuff down below is going to stay the same. So if you decide not to live on campus, just subtract your dollar amount by this amount here, and it's going to stay the same. This amount right here includes Saints Hall right here and Meal Plan C. If your student is choosing Meal Plan C in Mouton Hall, it is going to be cheaper than 14,500. We have more affordable housing options than what you're seeing right here. And so please make sure you're paying attention to that as well. Once again, this is a financial aid overview. It's an estimate at the time that we put it together. We're just doing the generic numbers, tuition fees, Saints Hall Meal Plan C, right? This isn't the direct costs are not specific to your student. That's where the bill comes in. We just wanted you to have a general idea. Now, everything else down here is specific to your student. So this student here has some scholarships and grants. One of the things that I would remind this student is while their Big Red scholarship or their automatic scholarship is renewable, as long as they maintain a 2.5 cumulative GPA, you can see that here. The Maryville grant, Access Missouri grant, other grants like that are based off the FAFSA, and they are first come, first serve. So like I said, October 1st, every year, you need to be submitting that FAFSA. This just gives you the estimated remaining balance. Once again, if you're not living on campus, just subtracted by 14,500. The government offers all incoming students $5,500 in student loans. These do not require a cosigner. They also do not go into repayment until 6 months after graduation. So your student or you, the student, is not paying on these until 6 months after graduation or after you depart Maryville. Subsidized loans are interest-free while you're in college. Unsubsidized loans are accruing interest while you're in college. That is the only difference. You're not paying the interest on it. The loan is just getting bigger, and it's accruing interest. While I know last year's interest rate for the subsidized and unsubsidized loans, the interest rates are set by the government every July 1st. So last year's interest rates for these loans were 6.54%. The percentage or interest rate for your all's loans for our fall 2026 students will be set on July 1st by the federal government. So just a heads up for that right there. Just know that it might change a little bit, might go up, might go down. We don't quite know yet. The Parent Plus loan is offered to the parent or contributor that assisted in the FAFSA process. We have capped this number at 20,000. This one's only 15,000. It could be lower, but it's not above 20,000. This requires an application process. You as the parent or guardian would have to go in and fill out an application and go through a basic credit check. No matter how good your credit is, it does not change the interest rate. If you get approved, the interest rate is the same for everybody. And the interest rate last year was 8.94% for parents and guardians. It does go into repayment immediately, and the interest starts accruing immediately as well. That is why we recommend, and I'll scroll down here, checking out Elm Select. Elm Select is a great way to look at their credit-based loans. There's a lot of great options about some, they typically will need a cosigner, but a lot of great options about cosigner release programs, deferred payments, et cetera, et cetera. It's also a really great non-biased website. If you just Google student loan, college student loan provider, whoever paid the most amount of marketing to Google is going to pop up first, right? But that might not be the best interest rate. So we highly recommend homeselect.com. We have a question about the physical therapy program, school for 6.5 years. If I keep my grades up, GPA up, do I get to keep the GPA scholarship all 6.5 years? So no, the automatic scholarship that we offer is for 10 consecutive semesters or a bachelor's degree. So as soon as you achieve your bachelor's degree at the end of 4 years and you head into grad school, you will not get that automatic scholarship anymore. However, when you finish your bachelor's degree and go into your last 2.5 years of grad school, everything in your financial aid process changes. You're then an independent student. You're not a dependent, so you don't need a parent or guardian to fill out your FAFSA, right? You have the option for GA programs or additional grants or other fellowship programs, stuff like that. Everything changes at that point. Our physical therapy advisors and financial aid department does a great job of working with 3rd and 4th year PT students to get them the maximum amount of money as they go into the PT program. It's obviously we have a large cohort that graduates from that program every year. And so we have a lot of great ways to assist you in that process. And then like I talked about in the timeline really quickly, these are example payment plan options. Our payment plans will be available for signing up right around June timeframe. You need to sign up by July 1. and it's not available to you right now. It's not available till bills go out. But basically, they are 10-month interest-free, no setup fee payment plans. So whatever your remaining balance is, after accepting and declining your financial aid, you have the option to make a one-time payment to the university, or you can put it into a payment plan, or you can do a little bit of both, right? I have a lot of students that maybe they have a $5,000 bill remaining after financial aid. Well, they can't pay the $5,000 up front, but they do have $1,000 set aside, so they pay $1,000, and then they put the remaining 4,000 into a 10-month payment plan. Right, that's a great option for our students. Payment plans are also the route you'll take if you're wanting to use your work study money and pay it back to Maryville to count towards your tuition. Right, work study, as a reminder, is paid directly out to the student. It's up to the student if you pay it back towards Maryville or if you use it for extra spending money. It's completely up to you. Somebody asked a question, do you have to accept loans? Can you use gift monies to pay balance? You do not have to accept loans. That is why in self-service, we give you the option to accept or decline all of your financial aid. I will be honest with you. In your self-service, you will notice that we went ahead and accepted all of your free money. Anything that was free money, we went ahead and accepted for you. Why? Because students don't traditionally turn down our free money. So we went ahead and accepted that. But anything that's a loan, a parent loan, anything like that, you need to accept or decline. And I strongly, strongly encourage you, if you think you're not going to take loans, go decline it, because we don't want to leave that as pending. We want to take that off your bills so that we know that you're not taking that. And so please go decline that if you're not thinking about that loan. So that can be done in self-service as well. All right, talked about all those things. At the bottom, once again, like I talked about, advanced tuition payment, housing payment. This is how you can schedule a virtual appointment with me. This takes you to self-service. And then, of course, students, if you're looking to meet other students that are interested in Maryville, that is through Zeeme, the app Zeeme. So that is the basic overview, everybody. I am going to answer questions for the next couple minutes, but then I'm going to get us out of here. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in now. Happy to answer those. I'm gonna just wait a few minutes, but if you don't have any questions or anything like that, as a reminder, this is recorded. We will be posting this to the Next Steps website, as well as it typically gets posted to the parent Facebook page or wherever Lacey and the team decides to post it. So that could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's where it's posted. I believe Lacey might have dropped already the Next Steps website. If not, that's going to be her cue now to drop the Next Steps website. That kind of has a great timeline of everything that we do here at the university as well. But I think we have a couple questions. Do parents have to take an extra step to accept their federal loans? If you're talking about the Parent Plus loan, yes. Parents, if you're considering the Parent Plus loan, you have to go to studentaid.gov. You have to apply for the Parent Plus loan. You have to submit a credit application. Once you're approved, then you have to sign a master promissory note and link that Parent Plus loan to your student. That's all done in the steps at the bottom of self-service. So when your student is in self-service, when you look at the Parent Plus loan in self-service, it'll give you all the steps that you have to do. It's 3 steps. Will I be told if I do not qualify for a scholarship? Yes, we inform students of any scholarships that they've been awarded. If you have questions about a specific scholarship, please reach out. Where do we let Maryville know that we have a 529 paying for tuition? Just let your admissions counselor know. If you're not sure who your admissions counselor is, email admissions@maryville.edu. And just let us know who the 529 provider is, any details that you have, and then we can send you details of where to send payments, how to make sure that's set up correctly, everything like that as well. Once again, for those of you that I'll be seeing at Admitted Student Day this weekend, we look forward to seeing you on campus. If you have not done so already, I hope whenever I check the report in the morning, about 100 more people signed up for a start day. Please sign up for a start day and register for classes. If you have not submitted your advanced tuition payment or your housing application, get those done this week, please, please, please. And that way we can make sure that you're set up for success. Once again, if you ever have any questions, please reach out to us reach out to your admissions counselor directly. If you don't know who your admissions counselor is, then you can always reach out to admissions@maryville.edu. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye now.